As some of you may have heard, ARK Additions, or Additions Ascended by Garuga, is now coming to official. And I mean official, actual real ARK, not just the official modded servers, but baseline ARK. And I figured that since I've been covering a lot of mods lately, I should probably cover this one too. All of the information provided in this video comes from the Q&A session that Garuga himself hosted very recently. So if you'd like to actually hear it from him himself, here's the video right here. You can watch that version or my summarized version. And I'm sure that the immediate concern that everyone has is going to be about balancing, about Wildcard nerfing the dinos, or which dinos are being added, what's happening this and there. We're going to cover all of that now. So first things first, the actual ARK Additions dinosaurs being brought to official. It's safe to say that Wildcard actually likes Garuga's concepts. There will most likely only be stat changes, so things like food, like weight, maybe a bit of health and stamina, we'll see. Not abilities. Some might not even get changed at all. Garuga is licensing the mod files to Wildcard, therefore he still has ownership. And there's so far been 10 confirmed and planned additions that are to be added over time. These are, in no particular order, the acrocanthosaurus, archelon, brachiosaurus, ceratosaurus, concavenator, cryolophosaurus, deinosuchus, deinotherium, helicoprion, and xiphactinus, any of which I may have mispronounced, but I'm sure you know which one's which. Now, the first officially announced one is of course the ceratosaurus, and this is getting minor stat changes, although the venom ability is actually going to get buffed, it has been confirmed. So it could be a better healer with just a one singular dinosaur, you won't require an entire pack. So Wildcard are actually buffing Cerato's venom, but slightly nerfing some of its other stats. And as a result of it being overall buffed, they might make the taming process a little bit harder, but for the most part, it's still the Cerato that we are familiar with. And it's worth noting that Garuga has final say on these changes. So one thing that you can happily be confident about is the fact that with Wildcard's acquisition of Garuga's ARK Addition dinos, he still gets to dictate how the creatures play out, and if anything, he's actually said that he agrees with some of Wildcard's suggestions and changes, and he might actually reflect those official changes into the modded version. We'll see, that's still to come, that's in the future, but this is all to say that it's a good relationship, that he is happy, and that Wildcard will not be ruining the dinosaurs. That being said though, if you end up preferring the modded versions over the official versions, the mod versions will still exist, and there'll be the same character blueprints, the same names. This means that if you keep the mod installed after whatever update it is that introduces the ceratosaurus and other dinosaurs, if you keep the mod, your modded versions will be perfectly fine and untouched. There will, in the future, be a system that you can convert to modded ones to vanilla, just like in Paleo ARK, how you can convert a vanilla Rex into an Evo Tyrannosaurus. Garuga will be looking to that same method, but for the time being, keep your mods, keep them installed, and just see how things play out, but just rest assured, it'll be fine. Now that being said, another benefit to keeping the modded versions is that you will only get the base versions of the dinosaurs in official ARK. So any variants like the woolly brachiosaurus or the scorched acro or any X's and R's and so have you, they will all be modded only as per Garuga's own request. And this also means that he can then go forth and add even more variants and it'll be perfectly fine. So basically no difference to the existing mods out there that already add additional variants to ARK's current roster, such as the mods that add, additional aberrants or additional R's or whatever. It's the same method, just Garuga gets to keep that and can keep on doing more. And he's already taken into account the balance changes between official and modded, so don't worry, that's also been put into consideration. Still want to get variants for both of them, I believe. Now, of the 10 mentioned earlier, Brachiosaurus, Cryolophosaurus, and Concavenator are getting TLCs, probably mostly visual model animations, and maybe some abilities on the Cryo and Concavenator. And when they get added to official, they'll be immediately added as their new TLC versions, same as the Archelon as well. So we will not see the old current Archelon in official, we're just going to instantly get the TLC, both in official and in modded as well. And these TLCs are being done by Garuga himself. Now right now, for those wondering, Garuga is working on the Archelon and Edmontonia together, followed by the Brachi TLC, and then Concavenator and Cryolophosaurus TLCs after that, with Velociraptor, deinocheirus, suchomimus, etc, all being in between. So don't worry, the sponsored roster that was planned, such as deinocheirus, Velociraptor, suchomimus, they're all still planned, they're all still happening. Don't you worry, ARK Additions is still thriving. The boss dinos, like the savage acro and the gluttenous deinosuchus, will not be official. They will remain as modded variants, or modded bosses more accurately. Currently, they're a bit lower priority while Garuga works on the TLCs, but rest assured, they still exist and they will remain in the mod. And final note, for those who are worried about the more legal side of things, Garuga still owns legal rights, so when his dinosaurs are available in the dev kit, don't go downloading them from the dev kit and uploading them and trying to sell them. He will find out, he will sue, and he now has a defense of all of Wildcard and probably Snail Games by his side, so don't try to profit off of his work. It should go without saying, but here we are. Now, Garuga did also show off a couple of whips and teasers in his livestream, to which I will again link the video here so you can go watch that. I'd rather you go watch it from his perspective. The new things he's shown off, such as the Archelon TLC, the new model rig, animations, color sets, a algae system, some very exciting plans for the anomalocaris when the center comes round, some new items, new cosmetics, new concept art, new saddle models and concepts, and a little bit of information about the Edmontonia. Again, he goes into quite a bit more detail, and I would love for you to watch that there. And for a final note, premium mods. Since we've mentioned anomalocaris and Edmontonia, premium mods. Good news, everyone, is coming to console, and they are lifting the server restrictions. So for those who wanted to try anomalocaris, but obviously currently right now, if you buy it and have it on your server, everyone's going to pay for it. They are lifting that, and it will be at the discretion and customization of the mod author's choosing. So in Garuga's case, his plan on the way that he's going to customize the anomalocaris is that you could have it on the server for free, anyone can see it, anyone can kill it, anyone can be killed by it, but you have to actually own the mod in order to ride it. And yes, that includes things like force tame, summon, do tame, tribal permissions, etc. That's all going to be taken into account, but essentially you can still just have it there in your server. And it's all being discussed and it's all being considered. There's a bit of wiggle room for certain things here and there, but point being, if you're a server owner and you have anomalocaris or Edmontonia in the future, it will no longer lock your players. More information on all of that will be available once this feature or new restrictions and guidelines are actually pushed and finalized. It's currently still being in development, but we can happily confirm, yes, this is going to happen, just hopefully very soon. And speaking of premium, if anyone's wondering, Edmontonia is still currently the last planned premium, so obviously Velociraptor, Suchomimus, and deinocheirus will still be free and available to everyone. Garuga may or may not make more premiums in the future. It really depends. The point being is that he's not sweating about it. So don't worry, there is still plenty more for you to enjoy coming soon. Overall, my personal thoughts and feelings, if you care at all, I'm really happy. I'm really happy for the guy. I think this is amazing. And some people may argue, oh, what's the point? Because mods are already available on console and crossplay. Valid, I can see the argument. On the one hand, this now means that console players don't have to worry so much about the storage budget, because console can only have so much mod storage. So that is no longer a factor for them, and that's good news. But on the other hand, like, as a fellow artist, how cool is that to have your stuff like officially approved and baked into the main game? Like, it's there, it's so good that the developers themselves decided, you know what, we want that, and they came to a very good positive agreement where Garuga, the license holder and creator, still gets final say and everything. That's amazing, that's so cool. And I understand a lot of people are very skeptical that Wildcard is going to quote-unquote ruin it. Nah, dude, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm so happy for the guy. I think this is a really cool move on Wildcard's part. They were the ones that approached him, not the other way around. And it also just kind of opens Pandora's box, and now this means that Wildcard could, theoretically, add other mods into the base game. I don't know which, I don't know where or how, I don't really care until it happens, to be honest. I'm not going to hold my breath for anything. But ARK Additions is such a deserving one to begin with, and I'm so excited to see how this actually pans out and how it may grow in the future. So yeah, I'm happy. And if Garuga's happy, I'm definitely happy, because he's the one who's dealing with the whole legal shenanigans, and if he's happy to announce it all, then I'm only going to take that as a great sign. Right then, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that's cleared up some misconceptions or some concerns and worries, as I know a lot of people had a whole bunch of them. Hopefully that helps clear it all up. And otherwise, I'll see you all again next time. Cheers.